Guys, hopefully you can hear me. I am super, super excited to show you this site. I want to say potential site because it's still with solicitors, but I am so, so excited about it, as you can probably tell. And I want to show you where it is. I want to show you the returns, the projections, everything. Hopefully we'll keep this video around about 5 minutes, but it's just fantastic. And I just want to get across to you guys that it's far easier to find sites. Well, not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it is possible to find sites. We found this site, and it's just absolutely perfect for us. Right. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, I can do that really quickly. Um, more. There we go. Share. That's a button. There we go. Desktop. Right. So here is the participants can now see your screen. Excellent. Right. So this is a spreadsheet we use. It's been developed for ages and ages and ages and ages. If anybody wants it for the projections, just email deanbooty@icloud.com and say, Dean, give us your spreadsheet, and we will send it over to you guys. Nothing, we don't need anything for it. It's it's something that we love looking at. But before I get into this, because look at this, you can see all the returns and everything, and you can pause it, you can do what you like. It's got loads of good stuff. The inputs to the main screen. However, firstly, I want to show you where it is. It's in Newcastle. We've wanted to open in Newcastle for quite some time now. And the reason being is we've got a site in South Shields. It was just trying to find the right location. And then this bad boy came up and we thought, wow. So there's some sheds there. That's basically it. As you can see, there's palisade fencing. That's the main structure there. So we'll get rid of all this rubbish there, tidy it up. Do you know that's a real bed bugger of mine? Anyway, I really don't like it when people, I mean, there's no slight on these guys because they're not public facing and stuff, you know, they're obviously a timber merchants or something, but what I would do is tidy all this up because it costs nothing. This is where we can be different than everybody else because it's public faces in our business. And so it doesn't take anything just to pull out some weeds, spray it with a weed killer, you know, do the little things that don't cost any money. So here is a site. There's Asda there. See if I can just quickly show you. Yeah, Asda, petrol station, you know straight away they've already done the due diligence on this location because if Asda don't open where it's not very busy, you can see great busy road, Siemens there as well. So as we come down, we're right on the front here. All that is moving to the back, and we're having 0.8 of an acre, and they're moving all their stuff to the back. The gentleman whose site it was, he listened to some of my stuff and he was going to open it himself. And then him and his wife thought, do you know what? Let's just rent it to Dean because why would we do it ourselves kind of thing. So I was like, oh, more than happy. I went down, met him, lovely, lovely people, him and his wife. And it was, we just got on really, really well. I'll just show you quickly up here just to pinpoint how beautiful location this is. There's a little there. So look at this road. It's super busy. And the great thing is around, because normally, I know what you're thinking, Newcastle, there must be loads and loads of self-storages in Newcastle. It's a big place. As I'm trying to go back to where we started. There we go. Yeah, it's a big place and there must be big companies, big national operators. And there is. But there's always pockets in a mile radius of here. There's plenty and plenty of population of people living there, and there's only one self-storage. I think it's 1.2 miles away as a self-storage competitor, and so there's as a whole, Newcastle is very competitive, but there's pockets and areas. All we do is simply look at a map and we highlight different areas of a city, and it could be the north of a city, it could be the south. It could even be the centre that there is pockets available. This site here, I am convinced, will do very, very well. And we're due to open in October or November. I think we put down on the spreadsheet November. So we'll get to, start date November. That's when we're hoping to open. And I'll go through the spreadsheet really quickly with you now. And I just want to get across that there are sites out there that are going to make incredible amount of money, and the best time to open a self-storage, yes, was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. We have got a massive opportunity. If we look at the square foot per capita in Australia, it's around about 3 to 4, depending on what area of Australia. So that means there's 3 square foot of self-storage or 4 square foot of self-storage per person in America depends on which state, but it goes up to 15 square foot per person. I'm not kidding you. On other states, are about 9, 7, 9, depending on again where you are in America. But the growth in America and Australia is incredible. And look at us, we're still below 1 square foot per person. So when people say, I got a message from somebody the other day saying, I would love to open a site, but it's oversaturated. I'm like, oh no, the growth in the next 5-10 years is going to be incredible for self-storage. Don't get me wrong, we're not going to catch up America, but we are certainly going to be a lot more popular is this industry in 5 years' time. You'll look back and think, do you remember when it was under 1 square foot per person in the UK? What an opportunity we had. And this is the opportunity. I don't think anything we do is particularly groundbreaking. We're just consistently we're in a vehicle. I think the industry is the vehicle, and the vehicle is super powered. And I've just got such an opportunity. We've got such an opportunity in self storage. As you can tell, I am super duper whooper excited about this industry. Right, let's go through this high level stuff. I won't get into too much of the weeds here because high level. Ultimately, we're going to have 162 units for 21,680 square foot of lettable space. We're going to go for 3 unit sizes. You don't need to. I think any more than 3 is overkill, confuses customers. However, one of our coaches inside the program, he has tons of different unit sizes, and so it's great to have different opinions. It really does work for him, but it works for me to simplify things. So we've got 28 small units at 40 square foot. We've got 11. This is by the end of it, by the way. We only start with a few units to start with. Because there's no need. 11 units, a medium, 80 square foot. And we've got 123, 160 square foot. So we're really focusing in on the large units. And this isn't double stack because I always say the projections have to work without double stacking. Double stacking's a bonus. If we do double stack, and we get customers in, great. If we need to, excellent. Oh, if everything there is a Brucey bonus. But the projections need to work with ground floor only. We've done competitor analysis, and this is the prices that people are charging in the area. £40 a week for a container is a strong price. In our Glasgow site, that's what we're charging there. We're charging, I think, less in Wrexham. We're charging £66 a week in Beverley and £66 a week in Willoughby. So it's probably on the lower side, but to be honest, a lot of sites are doing around about £150 a month. But this one, yeah, it's competitor analysis shows us that £40 a week is the sweet spot here. And this is when you start. Obviously, with our revenue management, how we do revenue management, how we show you to revenue management, this is the lowest you'll ever charge. And as it gets more popular, we push the price up, supply and demand. Oh yeah, this is the cost for a container for renting the containers out. So we've got we lease the containers and then we have an option to buy at the end because we've got to protect cash flow at the beginning. When you first open a site, you've got all that money going out. You've got the rent, you've got the rates, etc., and you've got no customers. So the revenue is. The expenses are there and the revenue's there because you've got nothing coming in first of all. So we need to protect that cash flow, that negative cash flow. We need to protect our cash flow. So we rent. We're not we aren't in the position at the minute where we can just buy our containers outright. Insurance costs there, and I always say in projections, you don't want to be left with. You want to project worst case scenario rather than anything else, because I've learned from costly mistakes myself. When I opened Willoughby, I did my projections best case, and the problem is sometimes you're not going to hit best case. Best case might be happening in summer, but it might not happen in winter. And so I never want to be in a position where I'm like, oh, we didn't hit best case. So I always go for worst case. So here, as you can see, business rates here. Again, business rates, the great thing with business rates is that we wait for the council to get in touch with us. And then when the council get in touch with us, about 12 to 18 months after you open, so you don't pay that for the first year. I mean, again, this happen. I can only say about what happens to me. It's not what happens to everybody. I don't know what happens to everybody else. I don't want to say, oh, you don't pay business rates for the first year, because that is not strictly true anyway. So what we've done in our sites, we've opened. We don't tell the council that we're opening. They contact us. The earliest they've ever contacted us is a year afterwards. And then they say, oh, look, you owe us 20 grand. And we're like, oh my goodness, I'm really sorry. We can't afford 20 grand. We haven't got 20 grand. No problem. We'll do it over a payment scheme. And so you still got to pay it. It just means in the early stages that cash flow, you probably won't have to pay it in the early stages. And it's helpful to pay it in a year's time when you can pay it off over 2 or 3 years. I kid you not, interest free over that period. And so, but we put it there as a monthly expense, just worst case scenario that they actually come to us on day one and say, right, here's the business rates, please start paying them. If they do, then we've got to pay it. So we've got to put it in our numbers. Software costs £100, insurance costs £200, utilities. Again, we're below that in all our container sites, but again, we want to go worst case scenario. Wages, it's a manless site, this one. Very, very easy, straightforward to set up. Health and safety, £100. Coaching and consultancy, that's more the head office cost. For me, I always try to pay being masterminds and just learn from other people. Marketing, £1,000. Now you've seen the position. In our Glasgow site, which is nowhere near as good a location as this, we don't have to spend a penny on marketing because the marketing is done by the position of the site. But again, worst case scenario, we might have to start marketing, especially early doors. Audit, cleaning fees, there's no way it's going to be £200 a month. But again, just worst case scenario. So our monthly costs are $3,500. You're probably saying, Dean, what about the rent? Don't worry, I hear you. I've got you. Because we don't put it over there because they're expenses that start immediately. The rent doesn't. So on this site, we've got a 12-month rent-free period because we explained that cash flow is so important at the early stages. We said, look, we're not going to haggle on the price. It was £50,000 a year rent, but all we want is we want a rent-free period to make sure that we can afford it when it starts paying. So as you can see here, 12 months rent-free, and then it's £4,167 every single month. And we've even got it up there because after 5 years, what happens is the landlord wants to put it up and it's in the heads of terms. So again, we've accounted for the increase there. What else? Oh, this is it. This is a capital expense. This is, I realize it's a bit long-winded, this video. I do apologize, but it's really, really important that we all understand this. This is the one-off expenses to open. Now, as you can see here, the ground, if you didn't have a lot of money and you wanted to open up, not great picture there. As you can see, it's pebbled and stuff. It's good enough to put containers on, without a doubt. But we won the 2022, I know it's a long time ago, UK Container Site of the Year. We've finished runner-up every single year since. I want that title back. And so we are going above and beyond. We are actually tarmacking. So you can see here, £40,000. That is for tarmacking. And so we're going above and beyond. You don't need to spend that at all, but we want to make sure that we go above and beyond, and we're going for ultra premium. Again, nobody else has to. If you want to open up, in fact, if my sisters are looking for self-storage, my cousin and best friend are opening self-storages, and they're opening up with ground worse than this. You don't need to do it. Again, I want to iterate, you don't need to do it. It's only because we're going for the best in the UK. And when we're high level premium our sites. And so it's something that I'm very passionate about. We wasn't, by the way, when we first opened, we wasn't in a position to do this at all. It's only because we've been open 15 years, 14 years that we're in a position to do this now. The gate, again, there's a gate already there, but we want to electrify it, etc., to make sure we can do PIN code access. There is other ways, there's cheaper ways of doing it. Planning, £5,000. Planning is not £5,000. It's already got B8 use. But again, just put in worst case scenario. Solicitors fees, £3,000. That is our solicitor's price, £3,000. You might be able to get it cheaper. We do pay for a very good solicitor. Again, you guys can maybe get it cheaper. £4,500 for signs. You're probably thinking, what do you mean? You just put that up. How is that £4,500? It's not going to be. Again, worst case scenario. I'm just trying to get across that the price that we're spending, it doesn't mean that you guys have to spend it. CCTV, again, there's much cheaper products out there, but we again are going for the biggest and best. Lights, £4,000. One of the coaches inside the program is Storage Bros, and they literally spend £40 on lights for these solar lights. They do a great job again, so we are just over egging our projections just to make absolutely certain that we're going to be all right. Access system, £4,000, so PIN code access to mean that it can be manless. really money well spent. You don't have to do it, but I would strongly recommend that one. Again, just in case there's anything else unforeseen, we've just put £3,000 there, an extra 5% basically. In total, it's going to cost us £75,500 to open. I want to reiterate, for the last time, you don't need to spend all of this. We could open this site for under £20,000 if we wanted to, but again, we've worked up to this position. This will be our 8th or 9th site, depending on who opens first, and we've gradually got better and paid more and spent more on sites as we go on. Right, let's have a look at the monthly projections then. So as you can see, units installed, you can pause it, you can have a look at this. Small units, the cost of the units, and so you can pause it, you can go through it. It's self-explanatory. Here's all the costs. Again, you can see the marketing. The business rates are in there, £1,500, which you probably won't have to spend for the first year. And then you'll be able to pay it off over 2 or 3 years. So again, that'll massively help cash flow. The biggest numbers for me here are the cash flow. So month by month cash flow and the cumulative cash flow. So as we know, when we first opened up, we was 75,500 in the red because that's what it cost us with capital expenses. Again, you don't have to do that. I feel like I need to. Right, I'm not going to reiterate anymore. And we've lost 2,347 in the first month because obviously we've got no revenue coming in. No revenue coming in, no customers. And so 2,347 goes on to that 75,000. So already we're 77,000 in the hole. As you can see, for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, we start losing money. 7th month, we start making money. And it all depends on how many units you rent out each and every single week. Again, we've gone worst case scenario. We always beat our projections. I'll be astonished if we don't beat the projections in Newcastle. We always go on the lower end just to make sure that we're in a better cash flow position than we projected. So as you can see, worst case scenario is £90,000. That's including the capital expenses and including the negative cash flow. And you're thinking, Dean, I haven't got 90,000. I get it. I understand 90,000 is a lot of money. However, when you look at the returns, it's not a lot of money. And again, that is spending £40,000 on grounds work. That's including £18,000 in the first year on business rates, which we won't have to. That's including marketing, £12,000, in the first year. You probably won't have to spend all that cleaning, 200, you're talking 2,400 on cleaning. So again, I'm just stipulating worst case scenario, renting out very few units as well. So 90,000. And then that's where we start making money. We're cash flow positive, which is really, really important for me to be in a cash flow position. So I know we're going to lose 90,000 to do what we want to do. Worst case scenario, 90,000. And then I think it's month 27. So at month 27, because there's a cumulative cash flow, as you can see, it goes all the way down and 5,300 and then boom. In month 27, we are finally, we've paid back that 90,000. We've got that 90,000 back and we are now in a cash flow positive position. So less than 3 years and we've got all our money out of this facility and we are making monthly cash flow of £10,000. And look at this. This is what really excites me. I can't believe how long this video was. I was only planning on 5 minutes. Sorry. As you can see here, it's incredible. So units, 74, the month's end, and all that cash flow, all that, by the way, the monthly summary, it includes the leasing of the containers as well. If you're going to buy them, then you're in a lot better position than me. Then your net position, your cash flow is going to be so much better than mine. But we are in a position to buy them at the minute because, well, to be fair, it's actually cheap. It's an asset purchase, so we can do asset finance. So it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than normal borrowings. Right, so as you can see, first year, we took 69,000. Cost was 80,000. We made a profit of 3,824. Not a lot of money, I'm sure you'll agree. And this is worst case scenario, by the way. And next year, 49,000. That's where it gets a lot better. Then 125,000 in year 3, 209,000, 303,000, 410,000 pound in year 6. The cumulative profit in that time is becoming over £1 million. Look at the return on investment. I love focusing on cash on cash return because ultimately return on investment is one thing, but actual cash you're physically putting down is another. These returns are bonkers. Now, I do want to put a caveat here. I do think up to year 6 will be pretty much on the nail on the head, on the perfect. But after this, it might It might not happen. It might happen. It might not happen. And the reason being is every single year, what we try to do with our mature sites, we try to increase revenue by 10%. So you'll see on our dashboard here, the inputs, you'll see 10% annual increase, and you'll see annual increase 10% there. So 10% of insurance, because by the way, we charge insurance. Well, it's not officially called insurance anymore. It's changed, but it's insurance. I don't want to get myself into trouble. It's like insurance. It's a kissing cousin of insurance. I like that. That made me laugh. Annual rate increase 10%. So what we're saying here is basically we're going to increase year on year 10%. My worst site, I think last year did 6%, and my best site was ridiculous because we had more units, so you can't really compare because we're adding units. You're obviously going to take more money, but ideally you want to increase 8% every single year as a bare minimum. 10% is what we did at our big site Willoughby last year. Every single year, by the way, we show you in January what our sites increased in percentage revenue as well, and actual revenue. So say it might have increased 49,000. What percentage is that? We show you. And so can we do 10%? In the first 6 years, it will be very, very comfortable to do that. Revenue management, increasing the prices as demand goes up and supply goes down. Guess what? Your prices go up. Did I say that right way around? As demand goes up and supply goes down, yes, because obviously as time goes on, you're going to be 82%, 83%, 84%. So then we increase the prices. So you should really be hitting 10%, no problem in the first 6 years. After that, like I say, 8% is par. 6% is worst case scenario that we've ever done, and we want to be hitting really 10% is what we want to be aiming for. But just in case we don't hit it, and these numbers look outstanding, don't they? And so it's because of the 10%. Because ultimately, your expenses remain somewhat fixed, and yes, with inflation, some will go up. But ultimately, that's why you need to keep increasing your revenue every single year, because your expenses will go up, but they won't go up as much as the overall 10%. So that's where we gain. So most of your increase in revenue goes to the bottom line, and some of it will go to extra cost because inflation. So hopefully you can see what a great business model self-storage is. 27 months to get everything out. I mean, can you imagine doing that in property, paying for the house and everything in 27 months, and everything else is profit? But not only that, in year 7, that says year 7 because it's round numbers, £500,000 profit. And again, not every site is going to be like this, by the way. There's going to be some better, some worse. Our South Shield site is better, and our Glasgow site is worse because it's capped at what it can earn. Our Beverley site is worse because it's only a small site. It's only 0.34 acres. This is 0.8 of an acre, or is it 1 acre? Oh, is that many sites? I can't remember. And so it might be 1 acre. Yeah, this is 1 acre. I don't know. So yeah, you are capped at what you can make by the size of the facility. So some are better, some are worse. But let's say it's 500,000. It's fantastic making £500,000 a year. Absolutely incredible. No brainer. It's brilliant. I get it. But you've got a decision to make. Do you then think, do you know what? I want to sell it. I think this site would get 5 times. I'd pay 5 times multiple for this location, this site. So therefore, it's 2.5 million. You might only get 3 times multiple, but therefore it's 1.5 million. So at that stage, when it's a mature site, you do have a decision to make. Do you cash out and sell? Someone like me will definitely buy it in this location, 100% for 5 times multiple. Absolutely. Or you can sell it, or you can keep it and get the cash flow rolling up. It's completely up to you. And the way we teach it is that it's never. I never want to say that it's hands-free completely and it's set it and forget it, because it's not like that. It will get you rich long term, will self-storage, but I don't want to say that it's. I mean, look, in year 1, you're only making £3,000 profit. There is certain amount of work you will have to do, but the majority of it comes in the setup. When we set up the site, and we set up the site to be manless, but it might be manless, but you'd still need to spend a little bit of time. Our Beverley site, because it's completely nearly full, there's very little ins, very little outs. It's been open a long time now. We spend like 2 hours a week on it. So there is a little bit of work to do. So it's not completely passive. I'd never ever want to sell self-storage as passive, but it is as manless as any business that I've ever come across. And just one other thing to note that I'm glad I mentioned is that I don't ever want to sell. This is a boring business. This is really, really boring. And this is why it nearly ruined me, did this business, because it's so boring. It's lack of excitement. I used to have a betting shop before. You name it, I've done it. And then because Beverly was so boring, I was like, no, I need to do something else because I'm getting bored. So I opened a restaurant. Worst 18 months of my life, lost over £250,000, lost my dad 6 figures as well, and ended up selling it. And lucky to sell it as well. I'd have given it away, to be honest. And yeah, even with selling it for 160 grand, I still lost 250 grand. My dad lost 100 grand. And it was a sad time because this business was so boring that, excuse me, it was so boring that it just worked. It just ran. It ran itself. And then what is it? Idle hands. I don't know, whatever saying is, but yeah. So self-storage will never get you rich quick. It will be boring, but it will always get you wealthy long term. If you're looking for a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, this isn't the business for you. This is not one of those showcase businesses where overnight you're going to be wealthy. No, this is building generational wealth over a period of time. And that's what it is. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. Well, to be honest, it really is exciting to me now, but it wasn't before because it just truds along slowly but surely, increasing profitability every single year. And that can be amazing, but it can also be a little bit boring as well. But now I've learned that now I've got more sites. It's really exciting watching the growth, and we can pinpoint the growth of sites really easily because we've got the data to prove it, not just us, but in the Self-Storage Association as well. So yeah, it's not one of those quick business. It's not one of there we go. It's not one of those businesses that are going to get you wealthy really, really quickly. It's going to get you wealthy long term, and doing things right, setting things up. It's generational wealth. Right. This has been a very, very long 5-minute video. Sorry about that. Okay. Right. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you guys soon. Love you. Appreciate you. See you soon.